I'm Nicole.
I'm Rolando.
And I'm Eddie Z.
And this is Remakes, Reboots, and Revivals.
An original podcast
about unoriginality.
And we're resurrecting something that we used to do in our early days of the podcast. We're going to have a news forecast for the rest of the year 2025. And this is exciting too because this is the episode that Eddie Z gets to helm. This is his specialty.
I just Google stuff, guys. That's all I do.
But he does it so well.
Where's my little song, Nicole?
Okay,
that's true. We haven't done this song in a while.
Yeah, we haven't done this song in a while. Okay. Let's get some news.
I can't say I missed that.
So I'm just going to read stuff, like low-hanging fruit stuff. A couple of things on my list. Stuff that, is either going to come out next week or this week. And stuff that's going to come out in the future. First on my list, a possible Grimm movie. Okay? So Grimm was a television show that came out in 2011.
The Brothers Grimm?
Well, yes, but not the brothers Grimm. So the main characters descended from the Grimm family, where the Brother Grimm fairy tales come from. So let's say like that the Grimms actually wrote real life stories. Mm-hmm. They weren't fairy tales. They wrote about their adventures, and it seemed like their family had the ability to see like supernatural creatures.
Okay.
Okay. So this guy who's homicide detective finds out that he is part of that bloodline and discovers he has the ability to see. So it's kind of like a crime show with a twist, because some of the crime has to do with either these supernatural creatures that are posing as humans, that can disguise themselves as humans living among us. Either they're committing the crime or they're being the victims
among us.
Okay, I've never heard of this. What did this air on?
You've never seen Grimm? I think it was on NBC.
NBC, yeah, it was on NBC.
Okay.
And
it started, actually, I know it was most famous for because the main actor wasn't even an actor. He was from reality TV. He was from Real World, I think.
I think so, yes. He was a good-looking guy.
Who's the main actor?
I don't remember. I don't know the name. He's not famous. But like he did go from like reality TV to acting, like being like the lead on a TV show. And he was pretty good.
Grimm had 6 seasons before it, concluded. And so Peacock is planning to do a reboot movie, trying to connect it to the original source, and providing something new for people who have not seen
So is it a reboot or is it like a revival?
So they're going to do a reboot movie.
Okay.
But according to the article, they indicate that they are going to have elements that's going to connect to the original.
So it's like reboot the franchise, but like connected to the original.
And the idea, if the movie does well, then the idea is to create a series afterwards.
Interesting.
So this is all in development for this year.
I wish I could react to that, but being as though I've never even heard that this is a television show before.
You may like this show.
It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my favorite thing that I keep saying should be rebooted, which is Once Upon a Time. Because this came out during that time, right? Like Once Upon a Time, Grimm, they were coming out at the same time period. We were obsessed with fairy tales for some reason.
I know, yeah. That era has kind of passed, I would say. I don't know what the new obsession is currently. Maybe it's like multiverse, I suppose.
I think multiverse, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely it seems to be something that they're trying to maybe resurrect. They say things come back every so often. Is it the time for fairy tales to come back and make a comeback in popular culture? I don't know.
Always, well,
I guess we'll see how Grimm is.
I prefer Once Upon a Time retellings of the stories, live action versions of like the Disney stories, because they tend to be more whimsical and more out of the box and more soap opera-y, which I think I prefer than watching like a shot for shot remake.
Okay, second. Karate Kid Legends.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing this.
We are covering this?
We are covering this.
This is something that we've never done before. This is a movie that is a merging of original, revival, and a reboot coming together.
So no one has answered this. Do you know if this is connected to the Cobra Kai storyline?
Well, I mean, they have Daniel Russo, and they have all the scenes, like when you see the preview, he is at the dojo. The one that we see now in Cobra Kai.
But like, I guess my question is like, are the characters from Cobra Kai?
I didn't see the other characters.
Yeah, because because for example, like the main lead, Xolo Mariduela, I think is his name. He was like in Blue Beetle, for example. Like he's so good, and I kind of want his stardom to like kind of blow up, and like this seems like a missed opportunity then.
So I think if they are going to be in it, I hope they're doing the smart thing and keeping it a secret. because
like
that would get people to the theater and be like, are they
okay.
going to be in it? Now, of course, it would be disappointing, kind of like when Helen Hunt wasn't in Twisters.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, missed opportunity there. So
Shadow was.
hopefully they have some sort of Cobra Kai nod in it. But it does seem like it's very much its own property and that it's talking only to the movies. But regardless of that, have you guys seen the trailer?
No, I didn't even know the trailer.
Seen the trailer?
Yeah.
The trailer dropped.
It's
Like first it's like Jackie Chan and you're like, oh, what's this Jackie Chan movie? And then all of a sudden it cuts to Ralph Macchio. And then you're like, well, shit.
I need your help.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, Jackie Chan isn't supportive of his trans daughter, though.
Yeah, they had a big falling out and stuff. So it's terrible because Jackie Chan movies are awesome.
Yeah, you love
and
Jackie
yet
Chan.
because he's like Buster Keaton. He's a master stuntman and filmmaker, but apparently homophobic.
It's so interesting to bring back Jackie Chan because was that movie even popular?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so it's like why bother resurrecting this property?
Because he's a legend in like the martial arts
in
world.
the sense, the property has been resurrected.
Give me a Rush Hour 4.
I mean, we've had Cobra Kai for quite some time now. So it's really like an extension. So by merging it, so it's part of the universe. It's not its own separate. You know, from the reboot now is part of the revival.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'm kind of over Karate Kid, to be quite honest.
I was gonna say this franchise is very strong.
Karate Kid for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in between.
All
It depends on how the movie is. If the movie is not good, it could exhaust me completely from any further installments, whether it's Cobra Kai or a sequel or whatnot. So a lot riding on this movie, I would say.
28 years later.
Yeah, we've seen this trailer.
Coming
in
out
theaters.
the trailer came out?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen it in theaters.
June
already.
So
20,
if
yeah.
you don't know, I try to avoid trailers, just FYI, because they give out too much info.
They do.
That's number one.
They do.
I feel movie theater trailers do that more. Like the ones we see on television.
The ones on TV, yeah. Oh, you mean like an ad between
like
like
ads,
shows,
like
streaming?
ads,
Yeah,
yeah.
those are fine.
Yeah.
But I didn't know the trailer had dropped. I don't want to see it. I do want to see the movie though.
We're covering it.
Of course.
Yeah,
obvi-
of
No,
course,
duh.
yeah.
Like I'm not. I'd fight you if you said no.
So as you know,
Really?
this is the third installment in the whole 28.
This is the
Yeah.
third. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
we had 28 days, 28 weeks,
And already the sequel to 28 years later has in development.
What?
So a year after, so next year, 2026, there's going to be a 28 years bone. It's called Bone Temple.
Oh, so they're doing like a
Oh, wow.
spin-off story.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
Is Danny Boyle going to direct 28 years later?
I think he is attached. Isn't he?
I think he is.
I'm
because
pretty sure he was
that
attached.
That's a big one.
Cillian Murphy, I think, was also attached to the project.
Yes, he is. With having the original director still a part of it all these years, 28 years later, I mean, that's pretty, like, huge.
Yeah.
And that's a good sign for it. Do we have high hopes, though?
I do. Well,
Yeah.
because here's the thing. 28 weeks later is a little bit underrated, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's actually not... It's not as good as the original one by any means, but it did have some really good moments. Specifically the beginning. I think the beginning is probably
28 weeks, right?
For 28 weeks
Yeah.
later. It's very outstanding. Like, I think that beginning is kind of like really gut punches you, right?
Is a situation with 28 days later still? It's like nowhere. It's not streaming anywhere, or
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
it was difficult to
I think
find.
it is. Yeah, it is. It is kind of difficult. Like, it's not on Max. It's not on
Which is a shame.
Prime.
It's one of the greatest like horror movies of the aughts.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to our whole. How are we going to do that? You know, are we going to do each movie like days, weeks, years,
Yeah, good
and then
question.
compare them? You know,
No,
That
let
should
us know in
be
the comments how
interesting.
you guys want us to cover it. How about that?
okay. Next, the Neverending Story.
Oh, pass.
Is this finally happening? I feel like we
The
talked about
Neverending
this years
Story.
ago.
No, this is happening. It's Disney produced now, right?
No.
Yeah, Disney. Oh, 20th
Serious
Century
now?
Fox.
Now?
Yeah.
Oh, because I had it under Seesaw Films because they literally said not a Disney property.
That seems wrong. Let me double check that. But go on. Tell me more about it.
They are planning to do a reboot of this franchise with multiple movies in the works.
Oh my god! So they want to make it like a
Yeah,
trilogy,
they wanna-
maybe even more.
Probably.
Oh jeez.
Now, it didn't work the first time when we had Neverending Story. Then we had the sequel. And then the third one. That didn't work out.
Well, if they overly CGI it too, I think that would be one of the things that won't work about it. It's kind of like if you were to make a new Labyrinth, which, here's a little thing. I heard that there's a rumor that Robert Eggers might be remaking Labyrinth.
That's.
It's a rumor, so it's probably highly improbable.
I don't know.
But if he did,
Would I want to watch that? Maybe.
maybe.
I don't know.
Would he do that more practically? Because if he would, that would maintain what was so unique about the original film, right?
Look, we just covered Nosferatu, and you told us it was a $50 million budget. I'm just like, he weaved magic with that $50 million because nowadays
for a Hollywood movie,
for a Hollywood movie, like for $50 million, like do you know how much usually like some of the shittiest movies have like $100 million plus budgets nowadays? You know what I mean? And he was able to make something like beautiful with it. So I'd be cool with a Robert Eggers Labyrinth.
But so anyway, Neverending Story. Good feelings?
No.
Bad feelings?
I never liked I never liked the original one to begin with.
I love the original one.
I hate, yeah.
It's like, I love the original one. It's a kind of movie that you need to see between the ages of 7 and 10 to really get the maximum magic of it. And anything after that, you're just gonna.
Absolutely. It's kind of like Hook. Like anyone who was raised on Hook is like best Spielberg movie or top 5 Spielberg movies. Anyone who didn't is like, that movie sucks.
I do love Hook.
When did you first see it?
As a kid.
Yep.
But I saw Neverending Story too as a kid, and I didn't care for it.
Was that along like the Secret of Nymph and Dark Crystal kind of movies?
I saw before those.
Freaked you out?
Or no, around the same time. But I never saw those at the doctor's office. Those I saw like.
Oh, those you specifically saw at the doctor's office.
The other two I saw, like Labyrinth and Secret of Nymph. Those I saw all the time playing at the doctor's office. Neverending Story would play regularly like on TV, and I just never cared for it. I just never. You know what? It might be the color palette. I remember it being just boring.
Oh, okay.
I have like this strong like thing to color. Like if it's a boring color scheme, just like tap.
Everything's boring.
No, I mean it's really important for a movie. So yeah, I'm a little different on this one.
Okay,
but we'll see. We'll see
if
it ever happens, because I feel like I've been hearing about this for a long time.
Maybe this one would make you really happy. Practical Magic 2.
Okay. What?
Warner Brothers had announced around June that they were planning to do a sequel to the original.
A sequel. Okay.
With Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman on board.
Okay, so in our terms, this is a revival of the property of Practical Magic. Wow. Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman, like they want to do it?
They want in.
What about the Diane Wiest and Stockard Channing? Would they be a part of it, or is it just like, I guess it might be the next Practical Magic?
I mean, they had me as Sandra Bullock, so.
I mean, yeah, you need those two for sure. Mostly Sandra Bullock.
So I've never seen Practical Magic.
Oh, I don't know how's that possible.
I don't know. Like,
I watch it every year.
What? I've never seen.
Magically never here for.
If I were Nicole Kidman, I don't know if I want to be standing next to Sandra Bullock in a movie.
She looks so good.
Because Sandra Bullock has aged phenomenally, and it doesn't look like she's gotten noticeable work done. Versus Nicole Kidman,
who's gotten a lot of work done.
It looks like a homunculus at this point. Like, you know what I mean?
So rude.
Nice.
Well, I think the thing is that like Nicole Kidman is one of those people who's like everywhere. She's in like 12 TV shows this year, 5 movies. What is Sandra Bullock doing?
Laying low.
She's kind of laying low, not doing much.
Raising her kids, you know. She
went through that like really public divorce.
Oh years ago. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. Cause I mean, usually you might want to like not be in the limelight after that.
Well, she had that movie with Channing Tatum a couple years ago.
That's right. I did want to see that movie.
And that was perfectly charming. I saw it.
Oh,
it was totally fine.
Yeah, it looked like it was fine. Cute. I'm okay with fine movies.
Yeah, it was. I don't need fine night at the theater. Does she need this movie? You know, like, I mean, we don't need any of these. But like Sandra Bullock, like, I don't know. I feel like her legacy is very much intact. Nicole Kidman, I feel like some people are either like tired of her, or they're still very much like she's one of the greatest actresses of our era. But if she keeps kind of going at this rate, people are gonna get tired of her.
Well, yeah, I just saw someone do a TikTok literally complaining about how Nicole Kidman, she's still mother, but like right now she will take any project they throw her away.
Right? So
there is an oversaturation of Nicole Kidman. Well, I guess if I paid for that much work on my face, I'd want to like show it off as much as possible.
Or pay it off and have to take
pay it
work.
off. Maybe that's
But I just feel like, is this something that could damage their reputations right now, or like people, or based on the reputations they have right now, like you're talking about this TikTok, do people even want to see it? But the Practical Magic fan like base is strong. I feel like every year through social media, I see it only grows. So it could be cute. And I feel like Practical Magic isn't something that you would expect too much out of, because it's very lighthearted fun. You haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
But it's at the end of the day.
a murder though, right?
Yeah, it's a murder.
Yeah.
There's a murder. So. It's very romance-based. It's not as sisterly as it appears to be, which is one of my complaints about the movie.
Oh, interesting. I thought the trailer made it seem like it was about like
it does.
Like sisterhood and
it does.
Yeah.
It's more about love. It's more about this spell that's been put on this family where like if you're too happy, then someone will die, kind of a thing.
Oh, I love that spell.
It's a great spell. Yeah, I wish it was on me. Yeah.
I was gonna say, well, I'll cast it on my enemies.
Like, Yeah, that's what one of the witches in their family does years ago. But anyway, so I'm intrigued. Okay. I'm intrigued. If Diane Wieston not Channing Tatum, Stockard Channing.
Maybe Channing Tatum will be in it now. Your lips to God's ears.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Freakier Friday.
Okay, we all know about Freaky Friday.
We all know about this. And we're all totally excited.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've never seen Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Are you gay?
What?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny. So good.
You know why? Because I love the original one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I grew up on the original one. I used to play it on Disney Channel all the time. So when it was announced, I think this was Lindsay Lohan was already like a star at this point because I felt like she was just like, I don't want to see another Lindsay Lohan movie. If I remember correctly.
No, I feel like that was right when she became a star.
Was that before or after Mean Girls?
It was before.
Okay. I definitely didn't want to see it in theaters. But then when it was like on TV and stuff, I just never wanted to see it because at this point, I did see Mean Girls, I think, in theaters and stuff. And like,
Got it.
I think I saw it in theaters. I don't remember, but.
Okay. It's delightful.
Yeah, so I hear.
Yeah.
And
as someone who didn't grow up on Disney Channel, I really do like that movie. And this is one that I think could be amazing, even if it's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. Has like, she's like coming back.
Yeah, no, she is. Who was the star of that movie, you think? Who stole that movie? Was it Jamie Lee or was it Lindsay?
Oh my God, I think Jamie Lee.
I think Jamie Lee stole that movie. Yeah.
Jamie's, okay.
And that's the thing. Now that she's older, what are they going to make her do, though? Because part of the charm was that she was acting like a 16-year-old.
No, now she's
acting
like a 40-year-old.
Well, is it possible that Lindsay Lohan has a daughter now? All three people are going to switch bodies?
Well,
could be.
The screenshots that I've seen on this are both of them screaming. You know that famous scream that they do when they look at each other? Like, I'm old! And they scream. So they're both doing it.
Interesting.
Okay, so now maybe Lindsay's going to steal the show acting like she's 65 or however old Jamie Lee Curtis is.
She is timeless. Jamie Lee Curtis is timeless. There is no age.
Wait, is this before Lindsay Lohan's like new rejuvenation of her face? Because she's looking phenomenal. Like I comment on people. There's no shame. Like people can look however they want to do because I want to get plastic surgery. But I just want to say, Lindsay Lohan looks
great.
That's why you started a podcast for.
Hell yeah.
To get plastic
Get me
surgery.
those endorsements so that way I can get tucked.
Okay, and The Running Man.
Yes, I'm so excited for this.
Running Man. We know that this was based on a novel.
Is this a Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
Yeah, the Schwarzenegger was the original.
Okay.
Yes, 1987.
Oh, year was born.
I don't remember who directed The Running Man from the 80s. Maybe Richard Donner. But the next one's going to be directed by Edgar Wright, who did Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver. I liked Baby Driver, not as much as the other ones I named. And I didn't see Last Night in Soho, but I heard it wasn't that great. So I'm really hoping that this is kind of like the rejuvenation to his magnificent career, because I'm a huge fan. And it's got Glenn Powell in it, not Schwarzenegger, who I know you are the biggest fan of.
I'm a little indifferent towards Glenn Powell. I don't know why. He came on too strong, too fast.
But then he kind of disappeared the rest of the year. So
what?
Well,
after
the Twister.
Yeah, and then that was it. He was gone. So
well, he had like Hitman, Twister,
and then that was it. Like right now, the person who's coming on a little too strong is Timothée Chalamet for me, because of the
Timothée Chalamet. I can't.
And he's just a little too much everywhere. But that happens. People come in cycles and stuff. I think he's the right casting for this because he's got that kind of like, and I mean this in a positive way, he's got that bland, charismatic movie star thing going on. And he could really helm a movie like this, I think. So
yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited. And we're covering it, guys, so we have no option. Is that it for your news?
I think
Okay,
so.
I have something that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Did you guys hear that Christopher Nolan is going to be doing the Odyssey?
No. I did not hear this.
Yeah, it's his new movie. He's got Matt Damon in it. He's got Robert Pattinson, I think. Maybe even Tom Holland. I think Charlize Theron. He's got like an all-star cast already lined up, and it's coming out next summer.
Okay.
And there's been many tellings of the Odyssey before.
Who is, I'm assuming Matt Damon is our lead?
That's what people are assuming, that Odysseus, Ulysses, whichever one
I
you
do
follow,
like Matt Damon.
is going to be Matt Damon.
I'd be cool with it. I don't know. Charlize Theron, I'm assuming, is playing Penelope was his wife?
Okay, she could be, or she could be playing...
what, Cersei,
or there's another one. There's another female character that he comes across. I can't remember her name right now. I mean, I don't know. How do you guys feel about Christopher Nolan in general?
I mean, I watch his movies, but I feel like I didn't care that much for that Cillian Murphy film, The Bomb.
The bomb. Oh, the Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
The bomb.
You know what it was? It came out.
The bomb. I was like, what bomb is this?
Oppenheimer. Yeah, I didn't like. I was so bored of that movie.
You mean the most incredible movie at the last summer?
That came out the same weekend as Barbie.
Barbie.
Which was the incredible. Like that was a much more fun time in the theater, with just as powerful as a message as Oppenheimer. To be quite honest, it's just like I didn't need.
Yeah, I'm not someone who gets Christopher Nolan. I think he has a lot of really great ideas and a lot of like nice. He frames nicely. There is like a visionary quality to him. I don't think he's the greatest storyteller, and I think he overcomplicates his films a lot of the time.
Well, I think he's a better storyteller when he has the source material that he's working off of.
Okay, granted. Although I think he should probably step away from being involved in the writing process.
Well, yeah, but the Odyssey's been written for millennia.
Yes, but like, okay, so if you think then Batman works more than, say, Inception because this Batman is something that was already written for him? Like that's something he adapted and not
let's
original?
be real. Inception is a fun movie, but like in terms of storytelling, it's just like, it's not that deep.
It's not.
You know what I mean? Like,
no,
it's just
not.
like, it's a simple story. That's why it works.
What about Interstellar?
It works less, but I liked it. I like that film, but does not work as well as like The Dark Knight or Inception or even Memento.
Yeah, I mean I would agree. I think that his lesser works are kind of like his brand new original things because a lot of the times to me they don't kind of make sense.
Yeah,
this is my own personal take on Christopher Nolan. I have worries about the Odyssey. I also think that this is the one property that if ever need a part 1, part 2. Like you know how Wicked 2 parts, Dune has these parts. If he doesn't break the Odyssey up in 2 parts and properly tell that story in a very cinematic way, he has a chance of kind of just not making the ultimate film version, which I'm assuming he's out to do.
Yeah, I agree.
And would be the only like reason worth doing it, you know, even if somebody does a new version of the Iliad too.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the news.
Well, what media property are you excited for in 2025? You should also comment about some that we didn't talk about and that you're excited for this year. Mm-hmm. Be sure to follow us because we will be covering a lot of the ones that we talked about.
Yeah.
And be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and until next time,
stay unoriginal.